It's easy to make money in a property market, even a flat one. Let me show you how inflation can be your best friend. What even is inflation? Let's keep it simple. Let's break it down and go through what it is. Inflation is your everyday goods. Anything from your shopping to your petrol to your stationery, everything will go up over time. What that means to you and me, that your money in your bank is actually worth less. So let's break it down in real life terms. The iPhone 17 Pro Max I queued up, got the phone, and I think I paid nearly £2,000 for a 2 terabyte phone. And if you go back to 2007, they will launch it at £269. That's nearly 10x today, but even the base price to get an entry iPhone today is £799. That's 3 times the price from 2007. Freddo chocolate bars, everybody knows them in their younger years. I walked into the petrol station in the UK and I went in, got the petrol, paid for the petrol, went to the front and I saw the Freddo. I picked it up. £1 for one mini Freddo caramel chocolate bar. Now in 2005, they were 10p. That's a 10x on a Freddo. Warburton's thick sliced bread, one of the best breads out there in my opinion, especially for the morning toast, a bit of butter. I went to the shop, put it on the counter, £1.40 up to £2 for a loaf of bread. The data shows in 2015, you'd pay 70p. So that has nearly doubled in price. Let's talk about petrol. Back in the day, 2015, it was £1.10 for a litre of petrol. We're now at £1.55. That is nearly a 50% gain on anybody using any type of petrol, which what everyone uses around the UK. So just to drive the same car, the same distance, is 50% more. These everyday examples show that inflation is quietly eroding the value of money. It's not just Freddos, bread, it's not just petrol. The biggest asset in our lives is actually property, and that's also going up in value as well. So why is this critical now? Let's use the UK as an example. They're 2.7 trillion in debt. That's 96% of GDP. Now, in simple terms, the best way to describe this for anybody watching this is if you go to work, you work for your 30 days and you get your salary. When you receive your salary, 96% goes to debt. So it means you're left with 4% to run the rest of your month. That is physically impossible. Now, the best way to describe that in simple terms, everybody wants that can of Coke in front of you. Everybody's thirsty. They all want to drink it, but there's only one. That Coca-Cola is valuable. But all of a sudden, if there's 100 Coca-Colas on the table, the value of that Coke is not worth a lot. That is what's happening with printing money. The more money they print, the more the rest of the money is worth a lot less. So the danger of printing money is damaging other people's assets and their purchasing power. So how does inflation affect the normal person? I mean, me personally, my energy prices have doubled in the UK. Everything from my flights to my petrol to my general living has gone up. Yes, that includes the Freddo as well. Everything has gone up in price. So let's take a case study of Bitcoin. Everybody knows it, everybody uses it, not many people understand it. So Bitcoin over the last 10 or 15 years has gone from this digital token to multi-billion/trillion pound business. What has that done for inflation? Well, basically, in simple terms, imagine this digital token that didn't mean anything to anybody is all of a sudden worth trillions. What that does, the outpour of people buying cars and houses and assets, there is more money coming in that didn't exist. So the people that have money around them, all of a sudden their spending power is a lot less because there's other people that have money. This is increasing the rise of assets around you. So how does inflation and property correlate? Let's keep it simple. I'm going to give you the most extreme example. Your bread, your coffee, your tea, your petrol, everything has gone up in that value. Now let's take a can of Coke. Imagine hypothetically, an absolute extreme example, that can of Coke is now worth £100,000 in 100 years. Do you genuinely think someone is going to trade a can of Coke for a 2-bed mid-terrace in Coventry? That's not going to happen. That will show you a very simple term that even if you just live in your property, inflation will rise the value over the years. So let's talk about cash. You may have heard your parents say to you, Lewis, save your money, keep it for a rainy day, keep it in the bank. What I come to realize as I get older and wiser in investing, that keeping your money in the bank is probably the worst thing that you can do. Now, I recently watched a video from LeBron James where he said that his net worth was 3% cash. Mine's actually very, very similar. Stocks, assets, properties that are all going up in value. Now, if you're keeping your money in the bank and the inflation of the world is going up at approximately 4%, per year. It means that your cash in bank is going down a value of 4%. So if you went to cash that out in 10 years, what you'd be able to buy would be a lot less. So let's take a real life example. You own a house for £200,000 and the rest of the world has inflation for the next 10 years at 4%, meaning the coke, bread, petrol that we've talked about has all gone up 40% over 10 years. There's a good chance your property has risen as an asset with the inflation. Now, if you just kick back and enjoy your house, there is a good chance in 10 years your house is going to sell for 280,000 dirham. Inflation is unavoidable. Everything that touches our lives, that touches our lips, that's chocolates to chocolate bars, it's all going to part of inflation. The key is not to be scared of it, it's to understand and how to hedge yourself against it. And that's why property is a natural hedge. It doesn't matter if the property market goes up or down, as long as the cost of goods are going up, your asset will go up with it.